Today we're talking about someone who, although his guitar playing takes the spotlight, it's his songwriting which I really want to delve into. I'm talking about Jimi Hendrix. People talk about his guitar playing like it was from another world, but in fact it was his songwriting that was also catching the limelight. It was poetic, well structured, and had a sense of depth which was almost unique for the time. The music of the 60s was also an era where pop music came into its own. Against that backdrop, Jimi Hendrix was out there coming up with a library of songwriting that is still relevant to this day. His vocal melodies were often understated compared to the wildness of his guitar playing. But within that lies his genius. Just listen to Purple Haze or Hey Joe. The vocal lines are almost simplistic or chant-like, but in reality it's that old blues call and response that's happening here in his songwriting. And the complexity of his guitar work complements the simplicity of the vocals perfectly. It's almost like with his vocal lines he's giving space for the guitar work, and vice versa. If they were both competing with each other, the vocals and the song would end up muddy, and it's that balance between voice and guitar that's almost become a template for many rock guitarists and frontmen in the decades that followed. Hendrix was a poet, not in a literary polished way, but in the way his landscapes formed with the lyrics and the songs that he was painting. Songs like Voodoo Child and Bold Love were vivid in the imagery that was used. He painted a picture with his lyrics. The soundscape complemented that work that he did with his vocals, and together it created a scene in front of your ears of the imagery and the landscape he was trying to paint before you. He often used colour, surreal imagery and weather to paint his masterpieces. It was in this way that he created soundscapes that spoke to a listener in a way other musicians hadn't succeeded in doing before. It's almost like while other rock writers would be direct in their subject matter, Hendrix would wrap it up in a surreal blanket of mystery. He wasn't trying to be direct in that way that others had gone before him. He wanted to have a sense of mystery and a sense of the surreal almost to his songwriting. There was a sense of dream language to his poetry, and that's why the lyrics are still timeless today, because you can reinterpret them in many different ways and they stand the test of time. Another hallmark of his songwriting was how he played with structure. He'd stretch them out, drop them, or twist them all together to bring something new and unique to the listener. Voodoo Child is basically a groove that never loses its momentum. It keeps going and somehow still manages to keep the listener's attention. Or 1983, A Merman I Should Turn to Be was almost like a surreal journey that marched forward and twisted into a dream sequence before your ears. He also treated the studio like another instrument, building songs and experimenting in structural ways to bring something new and unique for the time. It all complemented what Hendrix was trying to do with his lyrics, his guitar playing, and his vocal melodies. More than any songwriter of his generation, Hendrix used the guitar not just for riffs, but part of the narrative itself. It formed a key part of all his songs, and the journey he had with his guitar, he brought the listener with him. It was almost like through his playing, he was forming the core of the songs that he was performing, the guitar licks, but also they helped bring a sense of meaning. The effects that he used were more than just effects, they were parts of the texture of the song and also helped form the narrative in the songwriting. In Machine Gun, The guitar practically becomes the character. It swells, it feeds back, it distorts. It adds tension and drama to the song while also conveying the central theme and meaning behind it. This is something that Hendrix employed in many of his songs and was definitely unique at the time. Myself as a songwriter, it's something I can draw upon and draw inspiration from my own music. Jimi Hendrix passed away at just 27, but his legacy that he created lives on through his music. He was a songwriter that proved not only can you be experimental, but you can also be soulful. You can draw a listener in with your vocals while also challenging them with your guitar lines. And that really is what makes him so timeless, especially in the modern era of computer pre-programmed drum loops, guitar licks, and fake vocals. It's the character in his voice and his playing that draws you into his music and helps you realize what it is that living, breathing sound actually sounds like. Hope you guys enjoyed that breakdown on Hendrix. Why not leave in the comments below which artists you'd like me to cover next. In the description I also have a link to my ebook on songwriting, and I hope to see you guys next time.